Once again, I welcome you, class 10 students, in a new video lecture on the topic power sharing. When we are talking about power sharing, first we have to see that in which type of government we can see power sharing, and what do I mean by the type of government. In world, many type in history you have also studied about many type of governance: imperialism, colonialism, aristocracy, dictatorship, monarchy, and democracy. So power sharing we cannot find in aristocracy, in dictatorship, or imperialism, but in democracy power sharing is most important. Democracy, or we can say that power sharing is a spirit of democracy. Democracy, a successful democracy, always need power sharing. Then the question is that what is power sharing? Power sharing is something about the division of power by the between the different layer of the government as well as different institution, different delegates, different community, by different constitution of the world. They have their own way to share the power, but undoubtedly power sharing is necessary for the democracy. So it is very much necessary. So first we have to understand that how power is shared in the between the different layers or between the different stages. So power sharing means the distribution of power among the organs of the government, such as legislature, executive, and judiciary. Power sharing helps in achieving the stability of political order. In power sharing, power might even be shared at distinct levels such as union government, state government, local government. So we can, in next video, we will see how many type of the power sharing and what is power sharing. But here we have to understand that what why power sharing is desirable, why power sharing is necessary. So when we are asking about the what is the necessity of the power sharing, it is definitely here I want to say that the power sharing promote stability of the government. It create satisfaction in the society. It avoid, it restrict unrestlessness in the society, and that create a smooth government as well as it ensure the development and well-being of the society. So we can say that power sharing is desirable, it is very much necessary. And then we will see as how power is shared in the Belgium and Sri Lanka, as it is the part of our study curriculum. So when we are talking about the Belgium, we can see that in Belgium the power was distributed in different layers. First we have to understand the society of Belgium, that how in Belgium the population is distributed. Belgium is a European country with a population of a little over 1 crore. In this country, the ethnic composition is very complex. Of the total population, 59% are Flemish region and they speak Dutch. Another 40% people live in Wallonia region and they speak French, and 1% Belgians they speak German. But in the capital city we see different situation. In Brussels which is the capital of Belgium, we can see 80% people speak French, while only 20% are Dutch speaking. The French speaking minority community was relatively rich and very powerful. This made the Dutch community angry, and it created a dissatisfaction in the society. So how the government of Belgium, or how the constitution of Belgium, they accommodated this diversity. Between 1970 to 1993, the constitution of Belgium was amended almost 4 times. The idea was to work out an arrangement that would make everyone to live together. So here are the main factors which was made by Belgium constitution to satisfy the every society. The number of Dutch and French speaking ministers shall be equal in the central government. Certain power of the central government were given to the state government of both the region governments. There was a separate government in Brussels, in which also both communities have got equal seats or equal representation. And there was also a provisions of community government in Belgium, and that was elected by the people of their own community, and it was for the betterment of, for the development, cultural development of, educational development of that certain community. So by this way, the government of Belgium tried to accommodate the diversity which in the society, and undoubtedly this ensured a proper growth in the Belgium society, and the people of Belgium were satisfied with this division of power. Then another example in our book about the Sri Lanka. As here I want to tell you that Sri Lanka is a very small island country, and Sri Lanka is a neighbor of India also. Then what was the problem in the Sri Lanka, and what was the ethnic composition in the Sri Lanka? In Sri Lanka, the democratically elected government opted for a series of majoritism. But first we have to understand the decomposition of the Sri Lankan society. Sri Lanka has major social group of Sinhala community. They have 74% of the Sri Lankan population, and Tamil speaker was 18%. Tamil in Sri Lanka were also divided between two groups: Sri Lankan Tamil, those who were the native of the Sri Lanka, and Indian Tamil 5%. 13% were Sri Lankan Tamil and 5% Indian Tamil, and these were the group who were settled there during the colonial period for the plantation worker. So, and Sinhala speaking people were mainly Buddhist, while Tamil speaking people were either Hindu or Muslims, and some of them were also Christians. So Sri Lanka government followed a policy of majoritism. What was this majoritism? So in Sri Lanka, the democratically elected government opted a series of measures which described that they want to ensure the supremacy of Sinhala. The sum of the measure which was taken by the Sri Lankan government was Sinhala was only official language, which create resentment in the mind of Tamil people, not only mind, in the mind and heart, because when any group of the society hurt sentimentally, it creates restlessness and instability in the society. The government followed preferential policies and सिलनाला applicants, मतलब उनको थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा महत्व दिया जाता था हर एक जगहों पे, नौकरियों में, एडमिशन में, और जिससे कि श्रीलंकन लोग बहुत एलिनेटेड और सेपरेट सेग्रीगेटेड फील कर रहे थे. This made the Sri Lankan Tamil feel alienated. As a result of this, Sri Lankan Tamils launched parties and began a struggle for the recognition of Tamil as an official language. So, due to this measure of the Sri Lankan government, the people of the Tamil of Sri Lanka, they get dissatisfied, and they started many militant activities in the country. By 1980s, several political organizations were formed. They demanded the independence of Tamil state in the northern and eastern part of the Sri Lanka. All these soon turned into a civil war, and thereby causing distress in the nation. So here I want to mention one thing, कि when the government will not try to accommodate diversity of the society properly, definitely it will create dissatisfaction, and a dissatisfied community cannot prosper, cannot form a prosperous society. This was experienced in the Sri Lanka, and we can see that how Sri Lanka was experienced civil war for long time. Many people were killed and many restlessness were visible in the society. So on the whole, I want to say you that power sharing is very essential ingredients when the government is democracy. So democracy needs power sharing, and that's all for today. Rest I will explain